All
Oh,
right. Are we good?
we're recording
All right. Whew. And we're live.
and we're live. Hi, my name is Janel Fuchs, and thank you for joining us. I'm really excited to be doing this here today. I actually have a guest on my Zoom live meeting, and his name is Nathan Nowak. Nathan comes from Atlanta, Georgia, and has about 25 years experience in the area of fitness and nutrition. And a lot of that experience actually comes as being an elite athlete himself, which is what really excites me about what we're going to talk about today, because Nathan's not only going to be able to shed some light on a few things for who he trains, but how he's experienced things himself over time. And now with our new product line that we're going to be talking about today, which is ThriveFIT. So Nathan's background is that of training athletes from all walks of life, weekend warriors, but to elite athletes, to athletes that have participated in track and field, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, taekwondo, and Nathan himself has huge success at the national level and even as at the Olympic trials as in taekwondo, and now himself is training and competing in triathlons. So Nathan, I'm going to kind of turn it over to you. If you're watching this video and you're a parent of an athlete or you're into fitness yourself, I think this is really going to speak to you, because we all know that when we're working out, or if we have athletes that are hoping to achieve success in sports, you want something that's going to give them an edge. You want something that's going to be healthy. You want to know what's right, the differences in products. And that's what we're going to be hoping to get at today with an expert, not me. I'm not the expert. So Nathan, I'm going to let you take it away. And if you can start with a little bit of background on how you were introduced to just Thrive itself, the product line, and how that happened, because I know that you were using other products and you
Right.
probably weren't ready to even change when this was introduced to you at first. So
Right.
take it away.
I've been an athlete since I was 9 years old. I started in martial arts, and I was introduced to supplementation when I was about 15 years old. So that's been something that's been commonplace for me for a long time. Because I was in taekwondo and I had the aspirations of going to the Olympics. I had a very strict regimen of everything that I was supposed to be doing. So supplementation to my parents was, even back in the 90s, wasn't a big deal. And they knew that was part of getting to the next level, because they even knew, based on what my coach was telling them, that I wasn't going to get all of the nutrients I needed to be at a peak performance level, even at 15 years old, just through my nutrition alone. So I've been taking supplements for a long time, and they've been a regimen of mine. And to fast forward through my career, I ended up having 2013. I ended up having a really bad adrenal fatigue, and that's when the body starts to break down, because you're just redlining all the time without the proper long-term rest and recovery and healing. So I was training twice a day, and I've been training very hard for years and years and years, from the time I was 15 years old till the time I think now that I'm 43, time is all over the place. But I think it was like 38, and I was just going and going and going. And I have an active schedule, and I have an active life, and I don't really get a lot of downtime. And I used to make the joke, I'll get enough sleep or I'll get enough rest when I'm dead. But in 2013, my body just said, "That's enough. You've got to stop." So I knew there was something wrong, because I was training. My nutrition was dialed in, supplementation was dialed in, but I noticed that I was fatigued and tired all the time. My race performance and my numbers were coming down. And I started noticing, at that point, I was 168 pounds and about 5.5% body fat. And I noticed that I started gaining body fat around my midsection. And for those of you who have kind of heard this before, when you have adrenals are constantly pumping out, and then one of the byproducts of that is the hormone cortisol. And cortisol, they talk about the stubborn belly fat. And that's where that is, because I was under stress. I was under fight or flight all of the time, in sympathetic dominance mode. So I tried a lot of different things to fix it, but I was not doing a very good job. I really even cleaned up my nutrition even more. But one of the big things the doctor told me after, he had said, "You have really bad adrenals," is you're going to need to sleep for at least 6 months. Impossible. and no caffeine, no stimulants, and be very careful of your supplementation. So even with that being said, I'm a fitness professional. I'm a coach. I can't sleep on the couch while my athletes are training, or my clients are training, or I'm speaking in front of 500 people. I've got to be on my A game. So I did really well to fake it, and I did really well. But when I'd come home, I'd crash. Or if I trained really hard, then I'd crash for 3 days. And I felt when I would train at not even at the highest level that I know that I'm capable of, but when I would train and push my body, or I would do a competition, I felt like I was hungover for 3 or 4 days after that. And I would not be able to do anything. So the other thing was the stimulants. And I constantly would have to take 300 to 400 milligrams of caffeine just to hopefully survive that day. And I'm not going to heal. I'm not going to heal. So right before June 24th, because June 24th is my Thrive Day, I was introduced to Thrive. Phil Kaplan, a colleague of mine, had suggested, he said, hey, I know that you're doing supplements with another company, and you're really into those supplements, but give me 8 weeks and let's see what happens for you. And I had nothing to lose. My life couldn't get any better or any worse from where I was, and it was slowly just declining. So I said, I've got 8 weeks to share, to give you. Let's do this. First day out of the gate, I had my old self back as if I was 20 years old, and I haven't stopped. It's been 4 months now, and I lost 17 pounds, 4% body fat. That was the big thing, is I couldn't lose weight. My weight was just going up and down. The weight just fell off. And I'm able to train, and I don't have 3 or 4 days of downtime because I'm fatigued anymore. I wake up before my alarm. I go to bed. I get anywhere from 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. And I feel fantastic. So that's where the initial 3 steps have come into play for me, because I feel great, and my brain and my mind, my brain fog is gone. My clarity's back. I feel good all the time. I have no discomfort from being an athlete for so long. They say in Taekwondo or most fighting sports that every year you fight, your body ages 2 to 3 years, depending on the intensity of the combat, the fights that you were in. And if that's the case, then I'm 93 years old while walking around. So I know I look pretty good for a 93-year-old. But my joints don't hurt. I don't take any. I was taking this product that was $40 a bottle for my joints. Some days it felt good, some days it didn't. But now I don't have any pain in my fingers. I don't have any pain in my wrist. No pain from my knee surgeries in my knees or my ankles, feet from being broken. So it's been a whole as a lifestyle. It's just brought me back to where I was when I was 20, and now I can actually function and get out and do stuff and live life the way I'm supposed to be living.
Well, and I'm going to say this, we as representatives of our company make no medical claim.
No.
And, these discomforts and things that people experience, we see a lot of relief of, but, with it being a supplement line, we make no medical claims.
Absolutely.
However, people experience some pretty amazing things. And so today, with Nathan giving that backstory of the products, what we want to really, really touch on was, we have come up with a product line called ThriveFIT, and we know that a lot of us have just been waiting for this because we have so many athletes on our products already. And of course, as an athlete, you push your body to the extreme. You push it to the next level. And I remember you and I talking yesterday where you said athletes want to find that next gear. When they think they've got nothing left, they want to find that next gear. And so everything that we've had, we know that athletes have been very excited about, but it's not been tailor-made for an athlete. So now with the inception and coming out with ThriveFIT about 3 weeks ago, these products are tailor-made for that athlete. And I know as a parent of an athlete and of athletes, my daughter was an athlete as well, you want the best for them, you want what's healthy for them, but I never really quite understood what was in a pre-workout and what was in the proteins necessarily, what was good, what wasn't. It's hard to differentiate between labels and products and advertisements, and you go by what your trainer that's training your athletes going to suggest.
Right.
You go by what the experts say, because I'm not the expert. So today with your expertise in all these years of trying all these supplements, with your expertise of experiencing things yourself, with your expertise of training other athletes and being able to measure what these supplements have done for your athletes before and after, you've been doing this now for 2 weeks with our product line.
Right.
ThriveFIT, correct? Two
Yes.
full weeks?
Yep.
And you've been monitoring, you've been journaling, you've been pushing it. And I want you to share, what you found. And of course, we want these products to allow our athletes to be durable, have endurance, more stamina, to protect themselves from long-term damage because they're pushing their bodies and then they're not taking care of it. Because I know they think they're invincible. Athletes think they're invincible.
Right.
They're just going to push for that accolade. But, down the road, we know what can happen. So I'm going to let you shed some light on what we launched, what's been different, and some of your results. So probably start with, you can explain the 3 products.
Right. Okay. So the first, so what I did was I started with just Circulate first, which is the pre-workout mix. And, there's a lot of pre-workout mixes out there. A lot of them are packed and loaded with lots of caffeine and lots of stimulants and lots of things that are going to rev you up. Some of them make you feel like you're itching. Some of them turn your skin red. And then other ones make you feel that you could just run through a brick wall. And if you don't get that workout in, you don't train really hard, you feel like your head's going to explode. Now, some people like that feeling, but when you're younger, you can get away with that feeling. But as you get older, there's going to be repercussions for that feeling and that experience and being jacked and being juiced so high. So with Circulate, I was really excited because, like I was saying, I have to really watch my stimulant level so that my adrenals can continue to heal over time. So I was very excited about Circulate because it has none of that stimulation in it. It's really based. It's got a lot of different ingredients in it. Not going to go into that, but it gives you what I felt was, and I've had those ones that jack you up and make you itch and make you just feel like you're going to and throw stuff around. But this made me feel, I feel good, and it gave me this little step up that I knew that I could go into overdrive when I wanted to. If I needed to just kick it in another notch, another gear, I had it there. And it wasn't uncontrollable like some of these pre-workouts. They just almost make you feel out of control a little bit. This didn't have that sensation or that feeling. I just felt, and it was very mental and very aware of how I feel. And it was just like, it was almost like a power up on Mario Brothers or something. It was just like, doo, 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 doo. And whenever I needed to hit that button, I could go. So I started feeling, because of the fact that I haven't been going, full out yet, because I'm still slowly moving back into it. The first week I had just completed, I'd ordered the products right before one of my last Spartan races, and it was the Super, so it was a little over 9 miles. And I was really hoping that the products were going to get here before then, but they got here the day after. And I knew that too hard because I had just done an intense race. But I used to Circulate every single day. And I was doing a lot of body weight exercises, a lot of stretching, mobility exercises to keep myself, functional and good. And it made me feel more fluid. And it made me feel, it gave me a different sense of well-being, I guess you could say. And then the next week after that, I started adding in the more intense workouts, which was this past week. And again, like I said, I was able to take it to that next step. The times in between exercises was diminished. I was able to complete 4 exercises of lots of different, 4 sets of lots of different exercises. And when I was done, I was looking at my heart rate. It wasn't as high. I wasn't breathing as high. So I went ahead and got on the Airdyne bike for 2 minutes. And I was able to push, 350 watts for 2 minutes and go and go and go. And finally, then I started to feel like now I'm out of breath. So it took all of that, which usually within about half of my workout, I start to feel a little tired. I start to feel a little heavy breathing. I start to notice that my blood, or not my blood pressure, but my heart rate starts to go up. I start to notice that, I'm starting to feel a little bit of fatigue, and I didn't have that. So that kicked in, later in the workout. So I know that product alone was enough to keep me going throughout 45-minute exercise routine.
So this is so circulate is our pre-workout.
Right. And you want to do that, anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes before. I did it 30 minutes before. I like to do it right before I get in the gym. Obviously you do it on an empty stomach, and you kind of have to find that little balance for yourself. Some people need to do it 30 minutes before, get it in. Some people do it 15 minutes before. That's going to be a personal preference, up to you. But that stuff's going to absorb, especially on an empty stomach. The stuff's going to absorb right into your body, right into your cells, and get you rolling real fast.
Okay, so our circulate, do you want to explain a little bit what's in it and what
Sure.
it's meant to do with the L-arginine and no caffeine?
Right. Yeah. That's what's great about having teenage and still maturing athletes, is that you don't have to worry the caffeine in products. None of the products for our Fit line have caffeine, and they've all you can put them. I wish I had these when I was 15, 16 years old, still a developing athlete. But the arginine in it, you got 3,000 milligrams, which is 3 grams of arginine. That's going to really help relax your blood vessels. It's going to be able to pump more blood efficiently through the body. And what I've noticed over the last couple weeks is first thing in the morning, I always do my weight. And for someone that doesn't really need to worry about weight so much, you don't have to do it every day. It's just from years of fighting and having to maintain a certain weight class. I still do that first thing in the morning when I wake up. The second thing I do is I test my blood sugar. Not diabetic, but I know that blood sugar, especially from the night before. I know where I need to be, and my blood sugar, before starting Thrive, my blood sugar in the morning would be about like 105. Now it's down to about 95. Again, we're not making any medical claims, but these are the tracking, the tracking that I do and what I've experienced, what I've seen. And then the other thing is I do blood pressure, and I do an oximeter. So I do an oximeter first thing in the morning when I wake up and know what my oxygen level is. And you can get that on Amazon. It's just the one that you clip on your finger. And I do it right before a workout. And I know that if my oxygen level is not high enough right before a workout, I usually skip the workout, because I'm probably not going to get the most benefits from it, especially since my adrenals are still healing themselves.
Okay.
So first thing in the morning, I check, and I noticed that over that week, the average in the morning, my oximeter, my oxygen level, was between 93 and 95. And it was about an average of 94. I was getting most days, and it was staying around there. After a week of being on Circulate, my oxygen level first thing in the morning was between 95 and 97, which is, it would peak out at 97. Sometimes I'd see 98, but it's really, that's an impressive thing to see, that there's more oxygen going through your system. If you have more oxygen flowing, your body's going to be able to heal. It's going to be able to repair faster. When you, as an athlete, you need oxygen to get going, and you're going to have that oxygen store from the Circulate, and that arginine helps do that. The other things are the branched chain amino acids. It's got leucine, isoleucine, and valine in it. It's going to help you, really hold on to lean muscle tissue and preserve muscle tissue, and use store body fat as fuel better than going in training, again, on an empty stomach, but then utilizing muscle, because all the nutrients are in the muscle. So your body's going to want to go after blood glucose first, and then it's going to go after muscle if you're not eating correctly and have the nutrition in line. But with the branched chain amino acids in Circulate, your body's going to hold on to that lean muscle tissue and have the potential to burn body fat as fuel, which is better source than breaking down lean muscle tissue and then seeing a decline in performance over time. I think that's pretty much all I wrote down for that. I mean, it removes ammonia from the body, which is a byproduct of exercise. It helps improve immune function. It helps with anti-aging. It's got the potentials for that. And then it also helps with cell and wound repair. So as an athlete, there's lysine in it, and lysine is an amino acid that helps with tissue damage, tissue repair. So that's a really good benefit of having it in Circulate, and I think it's also in Recover and Build. But that's also going to help over time, because it doesn't matter if you're running, it doesn't matter if you're bench pressing or squatting, you're tearing up muscle tissue. You're breaking down muscle tissue. And if you're in the gym and you want to build muscle, you've got to break it down first. So that soreness you feel is basically micro tears in your muscle. So you want to make sure that when you're under a heavy stress load, whether it's sprinting or you're in your sport or you're in the gym working towards your sport, you want to make sure that you're benefiting from your workouts and the workouts aren't hurting you. So having the lysine in there helps with the tissue repair, tissue damage, and then everything else in there helps with cells and the wound healing and immune function, so that it gives you really great benefits. And you can know that I'm doing my workouts hard, I'm training really hard, I'm getting the benefits of my workout, and then I can start to see it on the field. I can see it on the ice. I can see it, on the track, and I can start to see that I'm making significant increases in my athletic performance over time.
Well, because your teenage athletes, especially, I feel, they might be able to hit that next gear, but they never think about injury until it happens.
Right.
They think they're invincible. So this, intrigued me, because I thought when you said it just makes your body, recover faster, heal faster, kind of ensure that you're going to be healing up tissue that might have those tears that could cause injury,
right.
Correct?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so maybe they're not going to feel like, at the time, they're not going to feel like these big bursts of energy, but in fact, they are doing something for their body that's going to make them train harder, better, longer, and
right.
have that edge.
And you're going to notice, there's not, people, and I notice a lot of athletes, but even people in general, if you don't feel it, then you can't be working. But a lot of, it's not, and that's just a misconception. You don't necessarily have to feel it at a, I have so much energy, I can't control it. Now I know it's working, versus knowing that, trusting the science, and trusting the product, trusting the company, and knowing that they have your best interest in mind for the long haul of your athletic career. Because you can try, take those products that make you feel jacked right now, but you end up hurting yourself. You end up, getting a little overzealous, lifting a little too much weight. And now you didn't even get injured in your sport. You got injured in the gym because your buddy's over here benching 350 and I'm going to bench 405 and well, look at me, I can do it for 7 times. And then all of a sudden you realize that now you have a shoulder tear or you have a pec tear or you have something and now you can't perform. So you have to track your results, and that's what I'm big on is making sure you're tracking. And over time, things aren't going to happen overnight. 30 pounds of weight loss is not going to happen overnight. So, over time, you're going to start to see, if you're tracking, you're going to see that your numbers are going up. You're going to see that your recovery time is going down. You're going to see that you're getting faster. So those are the things that you have to track. But if you don't track them, you're not going to see them. So then you're always only going on, oh, I feel it. Oh, I feel it. Oh, I feel it. And that's it's a more mature athlete that takes especially if you want to get to a high level, if you want to get to MLB, if you want to get to the NFL, if you want to get to the NBA, you want to get to college, you have to track things. And that's being smart and efficient about your workouts versus feel it, oh, I don't feel it, feel it, I don't feel it, because that's not a good way to kind of gauge your success with a product.
Because I know some people will say, oh, well, this product looks like it's the exact same as the one that I was using. And there are differences. There's premium raws. There's the way it's processed. There's just so much different about it. Cheap versus, quality is important, right?
Yes. And that goes into the build. That's a good thing, because you can take build, right? Our protein supplement, and you can put it alongside another protein supplement, and they look almost identical. But there's a big difference between whey isolate and whey concentrate. And those words kind of sound you don't want to drink concentrate for orange juice, right? If you drink orange juice, but you would do whey concentrate because it's cheaper than isolate. So, and if you look at them, they're almost the aminos are almost identical, but the fat content in concentrate is higher. The carbs in concentrate are higher. It's a cheaper form of product. So yeah, you can get 500 pounds of protein for $5 at your local vitamin store, but most of it's not going to be digestible. Most of it's going to come right through you. You're not paying. It's almost like going to a grocery store, and the grocery store always has boar's head meats, right? And then they also have the Kroger or Publix or their version of that as well. And it's always about half price. But
Right.
if you look at the store brand versus Boar's Head, the store brand is jam-packed with water and other stuff, and it's weighed by volume. So yeah, you're getting 50% off a pound versus Boar's Head, but you're not getting all of the product. In Boar's Head, you're getting all the meat possible. There's no there's no extras in there. There's no water. They're pushing water into it to make it more volume and make it heavier. So yeah, are you saving money? Absolutely. But are you getting the product? No. So if your job, if you're a parent listening to this, and your goal is to get peak performance so that little Johnny or little Sally can get to the next level, then you need to invest in the best quality, most efficient sources of supplementation possible. But if your goal, on the other hand, is to just outdo Johnny's friend Sam with how much protein that they can consume in a day, then of course you're going to go for the cheaper concentrate product. But if really peak performance, keeping your kids healthy at the same time as trying to get on that podium and win championships, then you've got to go with the more expensive, because it's just a better quality product.
So, okay, so we were talking about build. So should we lead into what is build? Why would an athlete want to take build?
Okay, so build is our protein supplement. It's not a meal replacement. It's just pure protein supplement for folks that need to get additional protein. And for athletics, it's very important because we're talking about those amino acids. We're talking about, holding on and sustaining lean muscle tissue. So think of the amino acids, especially the branch chain ones, leucine, isoleucine, valine, and then also like glutamine and the rest of them as muscle fuel. They're fuel for your muscle to sustain lean muscle tissue so that your body can work efficiently. You can get as much bang for your buck from your muscles and spare it and use body fat as a source of energy instead. So with that, there are different times throughout the day that you can take it. Now, with the Circulate, you got to take it right before your workout because it's a timing thing. With Build, it is a timing thing, but you're a little bit more flexible on when and where you need to take it. For a workout purpose, I would take a Build 2 hours before a workout. A lot of people tell me, a lot of my athletes tell me, well, I can't eat real food. I can't eat a meal 2 hours before a workout because I still feel it's on my stomach. And if you eat, a heavy meal, or if you're the type of person that can't eat 2 hours before and then go in and lift heavy or do something heavy, you got to remember that when you're doing your digestion, all of the blood that you need to be in the gym doing your body parts and working out and exercising, all that blood flow is going into your stomach to help to digest that food. So you want something that's easily digestible, and that's what Build is. It's easily digestible by the body to get into the system. It's not going to keep you, if you go to like Smoothie King or you go someplace like that, you can drink a protein supplement and you'll be full for 5 hours.
Okay.
That's not good. People say, well, that's not, because it's not digesting. It's just sitting in your stomach and it's not going anywhere. You want Build. You want protein to get into your body, into your digestive system, into your cells immediately so that you can get the benefits from them right then. So you're not wanting to, not eat for 5 hours. You're not trying to keep yourself full for 5 hours. You're trying to get it because it's part of your program. It's part of what you need right now. So you can take the Build about 2 hours before your workout, and then 30 minutes before or 15 minutes before you do your Circulate. Now, if you're somebody that is trying to add more muscle, obviously, you should be working with your sports coach or your nutritionist to figure out how much protein you need specifically for what you're doing per day. But you can also do Build in the afternoon or in the evening. Or if you're looking at your protein for the day, it's a little bit down, then you could have Build as a protein, additional protein as well.
How much protein was in Build?
It's 23 grams.
23 grams, and it's
25 grams.
Isolate.
Sorry.
And
25.
It's isolate, not concentrate. It's isolate. It's the good kind. It's whey isolate. Okay, so tell me. Okay, I had an athlete who was super fussy about proteins, that taste, that the texture. How was it? What did you
really
find
good.
Taste?
Now, granted, if you weren't around in the 90s, when protein supplements were just coming out, okay? If you complain, and this is my personal preference, and you can be mad at me if you want, anybody listening. If you think that any this stuff tastes, you've lost your mind, because in the 90s, and I mean that in jest, but in the 90s, it was nasty. And we drank it because we knew, one, that was the only options out there. We had very small amount of options, right? We didn't know better at the time because I wasn't educated as much. We were just trying to do the best we could with what we had. And the taste was awful. It was just so bad, but you were just like, drink it, you hold your nose and you just chug it and get it down.
Yes.
But
Yes.
this stuff, it's vanilla ice cream. How bad? It's delicious.
And it mixes easy, right? Mixed with water.
Yes. Yeah. I recommend, unless you're going to do it in the midday in between workouts or something, if you're going to do it before a workout, I would do it with water. Get it into your system. Don't add anything else to it. I mean, you can try and mess around with it how you want, but the easiest, most efficient way to do it is to drink it with water 2 hours before your workout, get it into your system, into your body, and get moving. Just to add a little extra tip in there. You want to have a higher protein meal before a workout. You don't want to have carbs. You don't want to have sugar, because what happens is over that 2 hour period or that hour period, your body is going to use that blood sugar as a source of fuel. It's going to try to use, and it's going to spike your blood sugar, and then you're going to get that crash. So you're not going to be as effective. You're not going to feel as good. You're not going to have that mental clarity, because your body's, that insulin level is going to go up. And we don't want that. We don't want that blood sugar spike. We want an even kill throughout the day, especially during our workout. And if you really want to maximize fat loss and you really want to maximize fat burning and hold on to muscle, then you do your high protein before the workout. And then after your workout, we're going to talk about recover next, but after you drink your recover, then about an hour later after your workout, then you have what we call the rule of 3, is a lean protein, starchy carb, fibrous carb, to get all that glycogen stores back into your body.
Okay, so do you want to talk about recover then? And
yes.
Do you want to show the way? Yes, show it, just how easy and portable. I was really thrilled that it wasn't canisters and that you had to put the powder in, a baggie and such, and you have a mess, because I remember the days where you were trying to take that with you, and you want to take that really quickly after your workout, and it's not convenient what you had with you.
Yeah, so for recover, you want to take it while you're still sweaty. You want to take it before you hit the showers. As soon as you've done your last set, you do your stretching, you do your foam rolling, you have your debrief with your coach, you're drinking your recovery shake, because you want to get, you just gassed yourself. You've just spent a lot of fuel in the body. You want to you have this very small window of opportunity to get those nutrients back into your body. The worst thing you can do is go to McDonald's right after you work out. As we're young, we're foolish and we do silly things, but that's not good quality food getting back into your system. So recover fills all of those little gaps that you've just created from your workout. And then you have about an hour, an hour later, then you'd have a real meal, which would be, like I said, the rule of 3, we call it lean protein, starchy carb, fibrous carb, to help you restore the muscle, help you restore the protein, get some fiber in your body, and then also help with the glycogen stores from the starchy carbohydrates. The one thing I forgot to tell you about Build, and I kind of want to go back because it just popped in my head, is the other thing that we have with Build is it's got whey and casein in it. And those are 2 different types of protein. Whey protein is going to give you immediate access in your muscles, and it's digestible very fast. Casein is digestible over a long period of time. So if you have somebody that plays football, if you have somebody that's playing hockey, if you have an endurance athlete, then you're going to have the protein that you need immediately, but you're also going to have kind of like a time-released type protein, which is slow digestible, and it's going to be slowly added into the body over a period of time. So those are 2 keys, because now you're not going to have that up and then crash. It's going to be released over time. So that's why the balance because some people say, why is there whey? Why is it casein? What's the difference?
Okay.
And I forgot to add that, sorry. But yeah, with the recover, you want to have it immediately after the workout. You can even do it on days that you're not working out, but it's very, very, very important to do it right after. And like you said, Janelle, I mean, it's a small little packet. You put it in your water bottle or your shaker bottle and drink it down. It's not something that you're just sipping. Drink it down, get it in, drink, another glass of water after it, and then hit the showers, go home, get your meal in, and then you're rocking. What you're going to notice, what I've noticed, is I'm not as sore. Okay. I don't have, my recovery time has just shortened. I did a really hard workout that one day, and usually I knew my quads were going to be hurting. I knew my hamstrings are usually nuked after I work out, and it never came. I had a little bit of soreness on my abductors, but that was it. And I thought, man, you've got to be kidding me. And I'm looking at my numbers. I'm looking at the kettlebells that I use. I'm looking at my other weights that I use. I'm looking at all the stuff I did. I did it in a shorter period of time, and my recovery. I mean, I was ready to do it again the next day. So for that is huge, because that means that your downtime is shortened so that you can really maximize your workouts, maximize that preseason time, maximize the time that you're in competition, and then, post competition and after the season's ended, you're going to just notice your recovery. You're going to be able to get more gains and more benefits in a shorter period of time.
Well, and a lot of times athletes that are in high school or college, they have back-to-back events with no downtime. They're sore. And don't you think that's when injuries happen, when they're pushing it and then they're not taking care of their body, and now you push yourself to the limit?
Yep.
Right.
And that's the thing is when you're in high school, you might play football, and then you go into baseball season, and then you go into track and field, or you go into swimming. And those are all, some sports kind of accommodate each other and some of them don't. And as a high school athlete, unless, like, when I was young, I decided I wanted to go to the Olympics. That was my dream. Not every kid has that. And they have to kind of play around and dabble in different sports to see if they really find that love, that passion, that thing that gets them up early in the morning and just keeps them working and working. So as they're trying to figure that out, yes, your whole school season is full of athletics. And so over time, if you're not allowing your body to rest and heal at 43 or for 38, you could get adrenal fatigue and break down over time. But you're going to start to notice injuries. You're going to notice they're going to be tired and lethargic. They're going to notice there's going to be things that are going on that you're not going to be able to fix. And if you let it go for too long, then it's almost irreparable. And I mean, speaking from personal experience, the last 5 years of my life have really stunk. I mean, I don't wish this on anybody. And I know that there are people out there, because I've talked to some sports psychologists, there are people out there, there are athletes out there that are in worse shape than I am. So I'm blessed every day that, I'm able to share this with people. But at the same time, I'm like, man, if my parents knew that, or if we had these products back when I was 15, 16, 17 years old, and I knew a little bit more, you guys, this is the perfect time to have the best athletes, to have, a long career, a healthy career, and then when athletics is over, still have a life worth living and feeling good about, and not having all those extra injuries and the things that could have been prevented. Some injuries can't be, but a lot of the breakdown over time injuries, overuse injuries, those can be prevented.
And of course, I know we keep talking about athletes and stuff, and this product line is for everyone.
Yes.
I mean, it's just, how you can use it. It can be utilized for me, if I'm just working out 3 times a week.
Yep.
And you said you have weekend warriors, but I thought the demographic of this was absolutely incredible. It wasn't just for a woman. It wasn't just for a male who wanted to bulk up. It was, It addressed everything. So can you recap? Do you have the products in front of you? Can you kind of hold up and just say, okay, just a quick, how you would take it quick? And then I would like you to just even quickly talk price point. So, because they're not expensive.
No, they're not. So with the build and the recover, it comes, I think it's either $44 or $46 for 16 servings. So what I do with my athletes, what I've been suggesting for folks that are trying this out, you're going to need 2 boxes of each one of these to get you through a month. And then Circulate is 30 packets. Now, if price is an issue, I highly recommend, the way I did it for one person was, obviously the Circulate's going to come in a 30-day supply. You can't break that up. And I recommend drinking this every single day, even on the days off. Okay. Right. Get 2 boxes of Recover, because that's important. And then maybe 1 box of Build. But I think that would be the the lowest for your first month is to do that and check it out and try it, because that combination right there, depending on if you're tracking your protein, you may be getting other protein sources. And, if you're not, then get Build and drink Build every single day, because it's 25 grams of protein. I mean, it's good, quick, absorbed, and efficient protein. Recover. I mean, if you're working out every day or almost every day, 3 or 4 or 5 times a week, then, you're going to need to have Recover at least after every workout. And then Circulate, like I said, drink it every single day, regardless of the workouts. Just make sure that when you do drink it before the workout, it's 15, 30 minutes before, so that it gets in your system and it's ready to go. But you're gonna enjoy the benefits of Circulate on a daily basis, regardless if it is a workout or not. And if you're doing 2-a-days, you could do Circulate first thing in the morning for your morning workout, and then you could do another Circulate after or before your evening workout as well, if that's what you wanted to do.
And we don't really recommend Circulate more than 2 times a day, I think, correct? Because of the
L-arginine. Right. Because it's if something's good, more, or if good is good, then more is better, and that's not the case.
Okay.
You don't want to do more than 2 Circulates in a day. And I honestly think that you could get away with doing Circulate before your first workout and still sustain the benefits to the second workout. If it's a lighter workout than the first one, I would do it during the most intense workout. If you know that you're in preseason and your coach is going to have you do 2 intense workouts a day, then you could do it first thing in the morning and then do it again at the evening. And like I said, don't do more than 2, because more is not better. Better is better.
Okay, so one of the coolest things that you can offer, the price point that you gave was our discounted price for customers, which is 25% off, I believe.
Okay.
Customers and promoters have the ability, you can get this, you can join for free to have access to our products. Basically, yes. It's a free customer account. So there's no weird catches or anything that y'all have to be worried about and caught in auto ship, hell, for lack of a better word. Sorry.
That's okay.
But one of the coolest things is they can get it free, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
This isn't a gimmick. This isn't a hook. If you don't want to get it for free, that's totally fine. But I just want parents to know there's ways that you can get this for free so that you can, make this affordable. And can you explain that just a bit of how that might work for somebody?
Absolutely.
To get it free?
That was one of the things that was really exciting for me. And, when I'm sharing it with other people, I believe, coming from a guy that takes supplements all the time, before Thrive, I was averaging between $500, $600, $700 a month in supplements. That's a lot. And that's a lot for anybody, right? And that's ridiculous. This is nowhere near that. And what's really cool is if you buy the product and you're like, man, I love this stuff, you share it with 2 people, you get your product free. It's that simple. And you sign up for free. You can get product for free. And it's not about being a promoter or selling it. But if you have a team, you want all of the team members to perform at their highest level. You're depending on everybody to be at a peak performance level, especially as you're going through the season and getting to the championships. So if everybody's dialed in and everybody's workouts are on par, and everybody feels great and phenomenal, you are going to blow through the competition. And, you get your product, you share it with 2 other people, they order product, you get yours free. It's that simple. I mean, it's incredible and then as soon as they get 2 people, they get theirs free, and it just goes on and on and on. So it's not hard. It's the simplest thing I've ever seen. So if you really don't want to buy the product, you don't have to. Just get 2 people started, and it's that simple.
There's a referral website that customers get. They access it online. The ordering process is easy, and someone will guide them. So just so they understand that, I just wanted to make sure that, parents aren't overwhelmed, or, athletes or anybody who's watching this feels overwhelmed. How am I going to get it?
Right.
And, oh my gosh, is it complicated? It's not.
It's not
just
at all.
know that. Yeah. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about? I know that you yourself, as having had injuries, had adrenal fatigue, but you blew your knee out in Olympic trials, right?
Yeah. You're
You're speaking from the heart here.
Yeah. Yeah, so in 2004, I was at the Olympic trial qualifier. In Taekwondo, we had several different competitions that you had to get to the final team trial competition. And in my second match at the qualifier, I blew my knee out. And that was really painful. I came back and was moving back through the competition. In 2011, I tore my right ACL and fractured my tibia. I've had broken bones along the way. I've fallen on my head. I've, gotten kicked in the back several times. I've fallen off my bike and I've been hit by cars. So, I mean, it's been, those are some of the injuries, like the torn ACLs and stuff. Some of them you can't, they're just either going to happen or they're not going to happen. It's just not your time, So, those things that they're painful at the moment, but there's a lot of things that I noticed. For instance, I had a torn hamstring. I was down in Miami training with an Olympian, Juan Moreno, and I tore my hamstring because I was dehydrated. And dehydration will crush the will to win in anybody. And I tore my hamstring really bad, and I had never had that before. And I knew at that point when I went to a kinesiologist, I flew out to Dallas to have that healed and repaired. It's very crucial. It's very important to have nutrition dialed in. It's very important to have your supplementation dialed in, especially with our young athletes that are still maturing. Because if you do something as a parent or as a coach, that's not right. Or then they end up hurting themselves. That might be an injury that they're going to have for the rest of their life. And it might be at 16 years old, you pushed them a little too hard. You didn't give them the right foundation. And now they can't ever compete again. So you have to take that into consideration. I believe in, and I've coached women's Taekwondo. We had national champions every year. I've coached everything from peewee hockey to high school and college hockey. I mean, I've run the gambit, and you can tell the athletes that have a good foundation, a good support system of a good caring coach and good caring parents that want to win. Absolutely, because we as a Taekwondo coach, it was win. We were there to win gold medals. That was it. But at the same time, years later, the girls that I coach would call me and text me, and the ones I'm still in contact with would say, you know what, at the time, you were a real hard ass, and you really made my life miserable. But at the same time, we won a lot of national championships. We won a lot of medals. And the other thing is, now that I see other athletes aging at the same in the same sports that I was in, I still have a life. I'm still able to be active. I'm still able to do stuff. And for that, I thank you, because you really did care about my longevity. And it wasn't, win at all cost at the cost and the expense of your athletes to get those gold medals. So that's the real, take that to heart.
Yeah.
I was big on their nutrition, big on their supplementation, big on mental strategy, but it was those foundations that we could have skipped. And I watched other athletes drinking Monsters. I watched other athletes drinking Red Bull or eating potato chips and doing all this other stuff. And I told my girls, I was like, listen, that's a fast way to get into big trouble. So we're doing it the right way. Just trust me and keep moving forward. And we had lots and lots of success with all of our athletes.
Well, and I'm going to end this with you. You're competing at a triathlon level now, and I know you thought that you'd never get to compete again. Of course,
right.
The recovery of adrenal fatigue, and just even how you're fueling your body now. And I've seen pictures of you online, and I've seen like the joy in your face, because you're 43 and you're getting to still do it. And
yes.
After all those injuries, and I know that you wouldn't be doing that without the supplementation and
right.
The right, just feeding your body, fueling your body correctly.
Right. Yeah.
You only research it, know what you're doing.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. You only have one body. People take care of their cars more than they take care of their body. You can go buy a new car, but you can't buy a new body. And I tell people this too. I say you're you're paying for your health is like a credit card. You're either going to pay now or you're going to pay later. And if you pay later, you're going to pay with interest, and that interest is going to be astronomical, and you're not going to be able to afford it. So why not take some steps now why not do some things now to get you on the right track, keep you on the right track, so you can avoid all of those interest payments later on down the line.
Terrific. Was there anything else you wanted to add? Thank you so much for getting, I know we tried to do this live.
Yeah.
We're going to try and do this again. And again, I know that we really, really kind of honed in on the younger athlete, but of course, this is for everybody. So
absolutely. Yeah.
Very excited about that. Nathan Nowak, thank you again. And we'll talk soon. We'll do something like this soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All righty.
Okay. Bye.
And you're going to want to stop that record button.
Yep.